Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Today we're going to look at an interview that I listened to on YouTube on a website called Coin Week. It's a numismatic website or YouTube channel, and it doesn't have many views now, 266, but it's great if you want to know about the history of silver. It's entitled Silver, America's Historical and Political Metal. So I'll go into that a little bit, and the fact that fiat currency is an anomaly. It's only like 1%. It's been, how can I say, it's only been around for 1% of the recorded monetary history that we've had of gold and silver for the last 5,000 years. Before I go into that, though, I like to say that I wrote a piece on my blog, maneco64.net. Some of you might not know, I do keep a blog, and I do write a few articles there once in a while. It's not every day. And the article is called Who Will Foot the Bill? And it's about the UK fiscal and monetary stimulus that we've had since the start of this so-called crisis, since March last year, so to speak. And I go through all the money that they've spent, all the accommodation and money that the Bank of England has printed, through what the Treasury and the Bank of England have done, and who's going to be paying for that for generations to come. Of course, you probably have an idea already who it is, but it's an interesting article. It's about 1,200 words. I'll put a link to it below in the description, so if you want to read it, you can. And there's other things there as well. A lot of interesting articles, in my opinion, not just by me, but some by other people. And have a look at an article as well from June last year that I wrote about the World Economic Forum. I think you'll find that quite interesting. So back to this interview I listened to. I recently subscribed to Coin Week. It's a numismatic YouTube channel. It's very good if you're into numismatics, I guess. They've got like just under 40,000 subscribers. And yesterday I saw the thumbnail. It said Silver, America's Historical and Political Metal. So I thought it was really interesting and it caught my attention. And it's over an hour, so it's very thorough. And Coin Week interviews a professor from NYU University, the Stern School of Business, by the name of William Silber. Silber, of course, is silver in German, I would say, so it's an interesting name as well. And he's written a book, William Silber, and I ordered it yesterday as well. It's called The Story of Silver, How the White Metal Shaped America and the Modern World. Just a little bit on his background, because I don't agree with everything he says, but he really knows his history. He's written a book about the history of silver in the American system. But as you can see here, he served as a senior economist with the President's Council of Economic Advisors, was a member of the Economic Advisory Panel of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. So there you go. He's... as you can see here, he's not really like us, who believes gold and silver should come back as money, even though the interviewer asks him, how come people still have this affinity towards having the metal, the gold coins, the silver coins, the bars. And Mr. Silber says it's because it's been ingrained in our psyche, sort of like in our DNA for the last 5,000 years, because gold and silver have been used as money. And he notes very appropriately as well that we've had this system where there's nothing backing the currency for the last 50 years, while gold and silver have been really used for money for the last 5,000 years, which is basically 1% of the time. So it is an anomaly. He doesn't seem to think, though, gold and silver will make a comeback as money. He doesn't even think people should hold that much gold and silver in their portfolio, even though he thinks it's a good thing to have it. He talks about 3 to 5%, which, in my opinion, is very low. Can you imagine if you'd left $1,000, let's say, in paper money in 1971, and only put about $30 to $50 in gold and silver? Yes, you would have done well with the gold and silver, but the rest of the $950 or so wouldn't be worth that much today. I would have said I want to do the opposite. Keep maybe 3 to 5% in fiat currency and the rest in silver and gold. But be as it may, I really recommend the interview. You'll learn a lot about the history of silver. As the interview says here, America's historical and political metal. He goes through all the history, how Alexander Hamilton devised a bimetallic system, which was used a lot in Europe. It was the ongoing system in Europe in the late 1700s. The gold standard only came about really more towards the 19th century, when there were big discoveries of gold in California and Australia, according to him. He also talks about how the gold-silver ratio is so important, and how that 16 to 1 ratio is really significant, even though there are some out there who think this ratio could go a lot lower to like 7 or 8 to 1, like Keith Neumeyer, who's the CEO of First Majestic. But he notes that it's quite amazing that in 1980, when gold and silver were not officially, how can I say, sanctioned by the Treasury to be in the system, how the market really took the ratio back to 16 to 1 when gold went up to like 887 and silver went up to 50. That was 16 to 1. He notes that that's the ratio that Hamilton set up in 1792. He thinks that Hamilton was a bit of a genius. I have no view on that. He talks, of course, about the great crime of 1873 and how John Sherman was really involved in that. He was part of that, demonetizing silver from the system. I'm going to put a link to the video below in the description. I'm going to put it up in the cards here as well. So with that, let's quickly look at where the markets are this morning. It's 7:45 a.m. We've got spot gold, or unallocated gold if you want to call it, at $1783.50. That's up just under $1. The range has been $17.90 to $17.79. Silver having a tough time here, going above 26. So it looks like the powers that be, the bullion banks, they want it below 26 for some reason. It's now $25.92, down just about a cent. High has been $26.04, low $25.75. So the stock market did really well yesterday. It looks like it didn't take too long for the Federal Reserve to come out and try to reverse the reactions of the markets to its statements and its dot plot chart, or the fact that the market thinks the Fed is so hawkish. No, they came out yesterday, a lot of Fed presidents, and they backtracked a great deal, and I think the Dow was up at least 500 points. You notice, though, that the recovery in gold and silver wasn't as pronounced, but as I said, we need to be patient. This is a long-term game. This is not about making fiat currency profits in gold and silver. This is about preserving the long-term purchasing power of your savings through gold and silver. And it's also about, at the same time, having some disaster insurance, which would really give you a lot of purchasing power, more than the normal protection that gold and silver gives you in a crisis. Just think Weimar Republic and the young guy who bought a small hotel for a gold, for a double eagle, which is just under an ounce of gold. Some American tourists had given to him. Anyway, this morning, the Dow futures up another 70 points. The NASDAQ 100 futures down about 5. S&P is up about 5. And we saw the currencies recover as well versus the dollar, just like the stock market recovered. We'll have to see. I said that I didn't expect the dollar to stay strong for that long, and it looks like that might be the case, but it's still early days, I would say. The pound did particularly well yesterday, but it's down today about 0.2% at 139.05. It just doesn't feel right that a supposed hard currency trades in such a volatile fashion. I think yesterday we got down to a 137 handle, and here we are at 139. The euro is at 119.01, down about 0.15%. The dollar is unchanged versus the yen at 110.42. Dollar's up slightly versus the Chinese yuan at 647.23. Last but not least, the Aussie dollar has recovered. It's back above 75. Yesterday, I think we're at 74.98, but overnight it's down about a third at 75.17. WTI crude 73.12. It's unchanged, but continue to move forward. That's really not going to help the general public, the consumer out there. I know the Fed doesn't count energy and food in its price or inflation calculations, because the Fed bureaucracy, private bankers, they don't live in the real world. They don't care about the price of food and energy because they pay themselves. They print the money to pay themselves big salaries. They put everything on expenses. They probably have chauffeurs. They don't have to take public transport and things like that. So anyway, high-grade copper is at 418.50. It's unchanged. Before I finish with the 10-year yield and the bond market, just look at the reverse repo amount here. It's gone up to 765 billion. It's not at a trillion yet, but as you can see here by this chart from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, or Fed, it's continuing to go up. The 10-year yield right now is unchanged at 149. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms below here. Rumble, I just started posting on Rumble for the last few weeks. And I put a video that I did on Sunday morning that was taken off YouTube, which is the first time they've done that. But it's getting quite a few views on Rumble, so you might want to check it out. It's about the NHS. I'm not going to say any more about it. Just go at Monaco64 on Rumble. So there you go. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.